So, in this episode today, on Music Memory Lane, I am thrilled to welcome someone who's not only a friend of nearly 2 decades. My goodness, is it really 2 decades? She is a powerhouse in business operations and communications. And her name is, drumroll, her name is Stephanetta Bingley.
Hello, hello. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yay, I'm so glad you could join us. And I know you're a very busy woman. And, we're just glad that, you could squeeze us into your schedule.
Well, because we go back 2 decades, it was definitely one of the priorities, right? It was like, I heard that you wanted me on, and I looked at the schedule and said, well, listen, this is going here because we've got to do it.
I appreciate that so much. And, you had said that, anything for you. And it's the same for me, anything for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I know that it rings true. You know what I mean? We've definitely had some great times together. And I know that I can depend upon you, for advice or guidance, because mind you, this journey started very closely with Zabrina and her walk at BET. I definitely tapped into her when I was 19 years old and have never stopped since. I was 19.
Wow. Okay. Because I think it was 2006, right? Was it 2006?
Yeah, it was 2006. The interesting part about this is, I was in an internship at Rogers & Cowan, now Rogers & Cowan PMK. But I was working under the tutelage of a personalities publicist, and I was going, you read the trades every morning. And for those of you that don't know what the trades are, the varieties, the Hollywood Reporters of the world that give all the information and the scoop about the business. So there was a article about BET, and Zabrina's name was listed at the end. And I said, oh my God, I want to be a part of that. And then for whatever reason, it had a number attached. I'm like, are people, what? I jumped at the opportunity, reached out, and I don't know if you remember this, but it was like you were on the cusp of getting your volunteers for the BET Awards, and I called you and you were like, well, we could use your help. And so that's where we started. And at 2006, which is crazy.
I know.
But that was how we met.
I remember that so well. Yeah, I think it was for the nomination announcement press conference that we were having. And it was 2006 was the first year that we moved to the Shrine from the Kodak Theater. And the host was Damon Wayans.
What?
Was it Damon Wayans? I think so. Yeah. But yeah, I kind of sometimes get them mixed up. But yeah, I think it was Damon Wayans. And you came, into the office a few times and you helped us get ready for the press conference. And then, when we made that transition the first year at the Shrine Auditorium, it was a little, chaotic a little bit. But it's you don't see that on the screen, but behind the scenes, and you were I remember you were nice and calm, and you just said, okay, what do you need me to do? I gave you some short directions, and you handled it. You were like already a pro. I mean,
well, you gave me great guidance and insight, and it was really one of those things where I had, some previous experience from working with the personalities publicist, so I wasn't necessarily completely green, but I was definitely new to the industry and trying to, make relationships and form different opportunities for growth. And in that same week, I believe that's when I was introduced to Pat Tobin, and I know we sort of spoke briefly about.
Hey, Flashback Squad, really quickly, before we continue, I want to let everyone know that Stephanetta will definitely be coming back for a part 2 interview. And in our next conversation, we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to talk more personally about something so many families are going through right now, noticing changes in the memories and behaviors of parents and loved ones as they age. Also talk about what that experience has been like emotionally and how entertainment and busy careers intersect with caregiving for parents and the reality of it all, caregiving for parents and kids, and why this conversation around memory, aging, and family support are so very important. So trust me, you don't want to miss part 2.
And Pat Tobin was a publicist giant at the time, and may she rest in peace. We truly miss her. She gave me an internship at her publicity firm from one of the BET opportunities. So it was by way of Zabrina that I got introduced to Pat, that I got introduced to, and it just, you know, it keeps going. So there's just so much gratitude that I have for you, the BET experience, and just the people that I met along the way, the people that I met on the red carpet, the people that like I met behind the scenes, you know, from production assistants to other junior publicists and people that had their own publicity firms, and then the stars, of course. Like, let's talk about that, like being on the red carpet where everyone that you've ever dreamt of meeting, they all convene in this one place, and they're like to the left, to the right, to the back.
I know.
So it was just like, whoa, like, you know, I was just overstimulating, but at the same time.
Oh, I get it. I mean, my first year was 2003. It was only, you know, three years prior to when you did your first carpet. And yeah, yeah, it can be overwhelming, and you'd be like, you know, in awe because everything's moving so fast, but you know, you just do what you got to do, and then next thing you know, it's over.
You keep your game face on, right? So, but I'm just displaying like the emotions that I had behind that solid face, right? I was still flabbergasted at the opportunity to see the people that I had really adored, and then their leadership and the people that managed their brand. Just sort of seeing how Yvette Noel Shore would bring Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle, and make sure that they, you know, looked not only amazing but spectacular. And you know, it was just great to not only meet her but just watch someone like Yvette in action with their clients. It was, so I was processing, learning, enamored, all at the same time, right?
So you were 19, so you must have just graduated from UCLA.
I was in an internship, so I graduated in 2007. So it was before that, because, and just to backstep a little bit, like I actually played basketball at UCLA. So I entered UCLA as a student and wanted to make the basketball team. And I tried out my freshman year and didn't make it. Before sophomore year came by, I dedicated my time and resources to training, and ended up making the team my sophomore year because I had put in the work, made the relationships, and made the team my sophomore year. So that's what I was doing my sophomore year. My junior year, since I was a student and wasn't on scholarship, it was time to focus in on what I wanted to do in real life, right? Outside of graduation in college. So that's when a publicist came to our class and just started to talk about the things that he had done, the things that he's going to do, and things in the pipeline. And I'm like, this sounds really cool. And mind you, I was undeclared when I entered UCLA. So for all those young people that don't know what they want to do, that is okay, right? Because I had no clue. I was just sort of like following the yellow brick road and trying to figure out what my path would be. So when this publicist came in and described what he had done, I said, that is something I've never even thought of doing or knew it existed. So I took the internship at Rogers & Cowan, and then again, backpedaling back to how I saw the trades and saw Zabrina, but I wanted to introduce that story only because, you know, a lot of young people figure they have to go to college with a plan. And if you have a plan, be so thankful that you know what you want to do and the path that you want to head to. But for those that don't have a clear plan, that's okay, because you don't know everything that exists out there. You don't know what careers, what journeys, what corporations that you're going to be exposed to, and then different elements within it that you can play a role. So
that's what I tell a lot of interns, that internships are just so great. And then I just want to say congratulations for even getting the internship at Rogers & Cowan, because I'm sure that was competitive.
Yes.
You know, but I interned, looking back, I interned because at first I wanted to be a producer for ESPN because my graduate degree was in sports management. And then I wanted to be I wanted to work for a professional team, you know, in their communications department. And then I wanted to, I forgot, it was so many, it was all within the same, you know, arena of entertainment or public relations, basically. And then there's, you know, you can do with entertainment. I was having a conversation with, you know, back then, like you've got film and TV, music, and sports. Like those are the main, you know, areas or sectors of entertainment. And then there's also, you know, politics, you know, because I was having a conversation with someone else. The goal is all the same, to get butts in seats, you know, or viewers to watch. So the same with politicians, they're trying to get votes. So you're trying to persuade people. And it's so much easier when, you know, involved with entertainment because people are always interested in that. So it's way easier than corporate sometimes, you know. But yeah, it's, you know, you got to try different things. And being at that age, you know, for you, 19, 20, the 20s, yeah, you know, you got plenty of time. Plenty of time to
figure it out. Plenty of time to, you know,
explore, experiment, move.
Exactly.
You know?
Pivot, you know, I mean, and don't be afraid if it's something early on in your career that you're not feeling, do some research and see if you can get into that next space that you're yearning for, right? Like, you don't have to stay put in something that's not fulfilling, especially these days and times. Like, there's so many resources and things out there.
But I just have to say, though, for the three of us, we're all from, you were born in LA, right? Were you born in LA?
I was born in Pasadena.
Where? Oh, okay. So we all are Cali girls.
Yes.
So growing up in, Southern California, we have so many opportunities. And Laura and I were talking about that sometimes because we're both in Atlanta now.
It's like when you're dating and all that, and like over the dating years, it's like when you just, like you're getting to know each other, and then you just might pop in a story like, oh yeah, when I was younger, or a few years ago, I was dating Sean Brooks from the Lakers, because that's true about me. They would, first of all, because he's 7 feet tall, it's going to that's going to make them feel a little insecure. And so and then also when you say like, oh, I was at this grocery store, like how Zabrina mentioned, and I saw, who was it, somebody in the aisle, I just saw something that showed who was it, Rihanna in the grocery store, and that was on the Sherry Shepherd show, and they were showing that clip saying that she is actually in grocery stores, but people don't believe you if you don't live in Cali. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, yeah, that's not true. You didn't meet that person.
Yeah, because you see them all the time at the store or wherever, driving, you see them. So it's a regular thing. But people, so you're like, oh, she's from LA, but it's more, to me, it wasn't a derogatory thing. It was more like, oh, she's from LA,
But you get it both ways. Some people are really pressed that you're a native LA, born and raised in LA, and had all these.
Or why did you move here? I get that a lot.
I love Atlanta.
We can talk about that, but let's get back to you, Stephanetta. We can talk about all that stuff.
I know.
We only have a certain amount of time. But so let me ask you this question. So what is a then and now lesson that you have learned about yourself and the, 2 decades that have gone by, as far as your career?
I would have to say, the whole journey for me has been about resilience and building up that resilience muscle, right? Like going after things fearlessly, going after things with intent, vigor, and the fortitude to follow through on whatever that goal is. And sometimes, like you said, the competition in LA is it's up there. A lot of people want to get into entertainment. A lot of people nowadays see what's going on the gram, and they're like, how can I be down?
Yeah, so not only LA natives, but everybody moving to LA on a daily basis,
it's people come to LA for the lights, camera, action, and it is definitely there. And so that just makes it that much more competitive. But what I would say is that I learned a lot about myself, because there were times where things didn't go my way. There were times where maybe I didn't get the role that I thought that I should have gotten. There were times where I didn't feel, fulfilled in something, and I had to be resilient. And like, we're talking 20 years of like ups and downs, right? Like, I show my highlights, but there's definitely been times where I had to look inward and say, all right, you got to get back up, because that's the only way you're going to move forward. You can't sit still. My mom would say to me, even if you're moving at a snail's pace, at least you're moving, at least you're moving. And so I took that and I was like, all I got to do is get up and put one foot in front of the other. And a lot of times people get defeated, fall back, and change their whole itinerary because they feel like this is too hard. Too many people want to do it. It's like, no. Make a way and you stick to it. Have that stick-to-itiveness. I think that's really important. It's kind of like a synonym for resilience, but it's one of those things where if you can stick to it, like, you will find your path, you will find your way, and whatever it is that you believe in, the divine order, God, Buddhism, like whatever that super strength and that superpower is, dive into that and allow that to be somewhat of your compass, because this is for the people that don't know where they're going, right? Allow that inner spirituality to help guide you and use those vibrations to move you to the things that really speak to your soul. Pause, take a beat, listen to your inner compass, whatever that guiding light is for you, because it's going to lead you in the direction of your desires, where your heart wants to go. And if you love what you do, and people say it all the time, you don't work a day in your life. And I absolutely love what I do. I love the people I work with. I loved my previous jobs. I love the roles that I played within those. And I really, in the 20-year period, now looking back, you can see it all makes sense. Each stepping stone was preparation for the now. So, for young people, like I said, listen to your inner self, let that guide you. For those in middle level management and are trying to make pivots and things of that nature, listen to that inner voice and definitely call upon the previous information that you got through your experience, right? That have the experience. and move like you're supposed to, like the room was designated for you to be there.
Oh yeah, and be committed. And then something occurred to me though, like sometimes you might not be getting paid what you need to survive,
Right.
but sometimes you might have to have 2 or 3 jobs, or you can take the entrepreneurial route, which what I did, and to be able to put your foot in different doors, and meet a lot of different people. And then, but sometimes, being like an independent publicist, when it rains, it pours, you might have 5 clients and then you have 1 client, but you do what you got to do to meet people, especially in the, in entertainment. Okay. So you had the opportunity to work with Denzel Washington on the film, The Great Debaters. Tell us, how did that opportunity come about?
Denzel, whoop, whoop.
Mr. Washington.
We love Denzel Washington. I can't tell you how amazing it was to have had that introduction through Rogers and Cowan. I was working as an intern. He was a client of the celebrity publicist that I was working for. And at the time, his son was still playing football at Morehouse. So like Zabrina mentioned, you have to have 2 or 3 jobs. I was also working at UCLA in the football recruiting office.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say you were coaching girls basketball at Archer School for Girls.
I did that too. You had to have like 4 or 5 hustles.
The side gigs, yeah.
Side gigs. So it was serendipitous, right? Because he needed something for John David's football attire, and I had a connection with UCLA's football equipment, manager.
Okay.
So I connected. So it was the craziest day for me, because here I come walking on campus with Denzel Washington, like on campus, right?
And I can see it now. I can see his stroll. I can see it.
And everybody was like, what is this? They start quoting some of their favorite quotes from his movies, like just yelling at him. It was like on 10. So we executed what he needed, got him out of there quick. And he said, you should let me know what you're going to do, when you graduate. And I said, okay, fair deal, no problem. And so, 9-10 months rolls around, and I was actually talking to another mentor of mine. I don't know if you guys know Beverly White. She's a retired anchor.
Yeah.
I believe she was at NBC.
Yeah, NBC.
Okay. Yeah, NBC. So
NBC News.
NBC News. So I was able to have lunch with her, and I told her about that experience that had happened like 10 months ago. And she said, you have to reach out. Like, you're about to graduate. He said so do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I reached out, and he said, I'm looking for an assistant right now. Like, I'm
the timing.
The timing is divine. The timing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And so, one thing was one thing, and the next thing we were doing pre-production at Sony Pictures in Culver City, and then we were off to Shreveport to film the movie. And, I did everything from the logistics to support to script revisions to making sure everything that, we had discussed in meetings was disseminated with action items.
Oh, yeah, because he produced that film, right? He directed it.
And starred in it. And he also got a producer credit as well. So it was, his hand was in every detail. So it was just my job to be there, take notes, and know what took place in the meetings. And
how is his personality? How is his personality to work with? Because he seems so calm and with such a positive attitude. How is it to work with him though, on one-on-one? How was that?
That was incredible, because you learn so much. I mean, he is really one of the geniuses that I've come in touch with. He has the memory of an elephant. Like, he has, the way about him, and where he moves with such confidence, cool.
I'm sorry. I just have to say this. I saw this little thing where T.I. was talking about on All the Smoke podcast, which is produced by my good friend Danielle Hudson. T.I. was talking about American Gangster, and he was nervous, and Denzel said to him, what's up? You nervous? Call him but he was pouring into him and speaking like him, like you're here because for a reason they chose you, so you just do what you came here to do, basically. In some
Oh, I love that.
He's like a great fatherly figure to me, and a great like coach, and just an uplifting man.
Yes, no, you hit the nail right on the head. And a lot of people don't know this about me, and I'm not trying to be morbid about it, but my father passed away at 16. So I always, when I have father figures that enter my life, or role models or mentors, like I truly covet those relationships, because it's that added value of perspective that I felt like so many years I didn't have. So it was like I was just ready to learn. And that's the thing about it, is like when you get around those situations, my grandfather said, if you're in the room and you're holding the briefcase, you got to learn something while you're holding the briefcase.
Okay.
Holding the briefcase, right? Like with some sort of knowledge from what you just experienced.
Yeah.
And so with that, it was like under Denzel's tutelage, the sky was the limit because I saw him do like 5 things at once and he did them all so well.
Wow.
How do you direct and then get in front of the camera, watch the take, say, all right, that's not good enough. Get back in front of the camera, come back, the take and say, all right, cool, we can move on. He got all his angles, he got all of his, and he was really an actor's director because obviously he's an actor. So
right.
He was able to pour into these young people in ways that I don't think a lot of other directors would have been able to, because not only did they respect him and his craft, but he was really good at breaking it down in ways that were digestible. So, I mean, he's just a really good teacher. He was an amazing role model and somebody to aspire to be one day,
So if you're just tuning in, we are talking about the Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington.
Wow. So now let's segue into, I know the answer to this. So you also, I guess after that, what did you do soon after that? And it starts with A and a D.
It starts with,
it starts with an A and a D, and the title of the project starts with an S.
Okay. So with that experience doing the Great Debaters, I wanted to be a DGA trainee, a Directors Guild of America trainee who trains to be an assistant director in the movie industry. Super competitive program.
Ultra competitive, right?
And what I was lucky enough to receive was a letter of recommendation from Denzel Washington.
Wow.
Well, how can they say no? Come on.
But the thing is, first and foremost, there's an IQ test that you have to pass. It was the hardest test I had ever taken. Really? I thought, I was like, okay, let me figure out what's next, because whatever I just did, that wasn't it, and so I got the call, 2 rounds of interviews, plus the letter of recommendation. And then I was in the DGA program, which was in New York. They have one in LA, but since I'm from here, I wanted to spread my wings and
right.
New York.
Oh yeah, so on the whole other time zone, other side of the country.
Yeah, and just really be able to lock in and focus. So I was able to work on, projects like Law and Order, this movie called Remember Me with Robert Pattinson, who was really big in the Twilight series. Like at that time, he was huge. Wanted to see him, and so but I also was working on a movie called Did You Hear About the Morgans, which is Sarah Jessica Parker and and oh my God, Hugh Grant. And so I worked on the movie with Sarah Jessica, and at the end of the film she was like, you know what, I'm doing a movie and I want you to come with us. And I'm like, what?
Look at that.
Sarah Jessica Parker. Okay.
Mary Bradshaw.
AKA.
Yes.
From Sex and the City. So it was like, I had to get the blessing from the DGA trainee program. Sandy Foreman, shout out to her. She's like the fairy godmother that places you on your jobs. So she and the first AD, who at the time was Betty Ann Fishman, they had a conversation, and next thing you know, we were filming in New York on the New York streets. Had no idea the fandemonium behind
Sex in the City. Oh my God.
We had to lock up these corners because, honey, the people were coming out to see Carrie Bradshaw.
Okay.
They were coming out to see Kim Cattrall. They were coming out to see Kristen. They were coming out to see Cynthia was her name on
Cynthia Nixon.
Yeah, Cynthia Nixon.
Oh, Cynthia Nixon. Yeah.
So we filmed in New York, and it was larger than life. Larger than life.
Well, New York, yeah. Well, yeah, it's still LA, New York, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So with the DGA program, I was in charge of basically I was Sarah Jessica's right hand on that movie.
Wow.
It was a lot of, we're on the walkie-talkie, we're on trying to make sure everybody gets to set on time, and like Patricia Field does an amazing job with these costumes because obviously Sex and the City is known for the fashion, right?
Right.
Yes.
So it was always like a race to get the girls to set so we could make our day. You know what I mean? So it was just, interesting in that I learned a lot about the production paperwork behind the scenes. Sarah Jessica was a producer, so again, she was involved in every aspect of the game. So I was just sort of like right behind her, taking notes, learning things. And the experience took us to Morocco because part of the movie was filmed in Morocco. And it was just something that I would have never ever guessed I would do in life. Like I had and this is one of the things that I'm saying to the young people, because you don't know where that guiding compass is going to lead you, but it will blow your mind if you follow it. Like if you stay centered enough to hear that inner voice and say, go for it, you're going to be so blown away by the things that you can do when you just say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. That's what I want to do. And I hope this is making sense. But that guiding light led me to be someone that and this is in the most humble way possible, but to stand out on the set of Did You Hear About the Morgans, for her to say, come with me on this film, you know?
Exactly.
So as long as you are head down doing your job, as long as you are going hard, as long as you're a problem solver and they see you getting things done, that's how you get recognized. A lot of people want to schmooze and be all in the face and talk about the you and the kids, and that's a part of the networking. But when it's game time, people want to see you doing your job and doing it well. And so that's the
without complaining too.
Without complaining. Yeah, like nobody wants a complainer on their team because it's hard work. And we all know it's hard, and we're all going through it together. And in New York, there's elements, like it could be snowing, it could be sleet, it could be, you know what I mean? Like unlike California where it's like sunny and 75 every day, you know, we had to really plan for, you know, alternative scenes when we couldn't get outside. So just really, you know, working with, you know, the ADs, the assistant directors, and getting that information back to the talent, and just sort of trying to streamline communication so that everybody was on the same page when things moved. I mean, the crew was over 100 people. You had to make sure that was succinct.
And that was your first major AD project? Was that the first one that started the ball rolling?
It was like the third opportunity that I received through the DGA trainee program. But at the time, you know, I definitely felt prepared due to the Law and Order introduction, and then the movie that I had done with Sarah Jessica and Hugh Grant prior to that, and then the lessons that I learned from the ADs on the Sex and the City 2 set. Like, I felt like I was well equipped, and then I had an ally in Sandy Foreman, because she works for the DGA, and whenever your days get hard, you can just give her a call, and she knows how to coach you through it, right? Like, she knows how to get you through what it is that you're going through. So instead of complaining out loud, like, luckily I had a sounding board. Just, you know, if you can grab a mentor, if you're not in the program, and have like an advisor of a sort, but, you know, a mentor, somebody that can help guide you and straighten your thoughts out. Cloudy, you know.
That's very important.
Yeah, and that's part of, you know, for this podcast, which is called the Flashback Squad. And you are in the squad, Stephanetta. You know, the concept was, or is, you know, I wanted to have an opportunity to share memories with my people, my former coworkers, my mentors also. And then folks like you, Stephanetta, who are, I guess, do you consider yourself a millennial? I guess.
Yeah.
So millennial, and then Generation Z, and then Alpha, you know, the younger ones, and then, you know, Laura and I are Generation X. But, you know, all these generations, we have different, you know, perspectives, you know, and our memories, and these great memories of like iconic entertainment moments in that, you know, will go down in history, and the behind the scenes part of it. And so what you're sharing is a part of what I was thinking that I would bring on former interns and former volunteers such as yourself, and see where are they now. And of course, I mean, I will say it several times. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. I mean,
thank you so much. Yeah. I really appreciate it. And Laura, thank you so much for, you know, being like just bright and wonderful.
Oh, I know, isn't she so cute?
And listening so intently, and highlighting the things that need to be highlighted. And it's just, I mean, just so far, I mean, we haven't met in person, but you're just so warm, and I'm just grateful to be on here with the two of you.
Yeah, she has a great light. Laura's great light. So
yeah, you know, to come to Atlanta though, and so we could visit together. We could do something together. That'll be fun.
Yes, I have a sister there, and I'm there at least once a year. So we'll definitely make it happen.
Yeah. Good. Yay. So, you know, we kid about, you know, time traveling and going back and coming to the present, and then, you know, into the future, you know, recalling our memories from the past, and then applying some of the things we learned, you know, to move forward. And so our podcast is sponsored by Music Memory Lane, which is a nonprofit that the mission is to restore dignity and joy and connect with seniors who may have dementia, or, you know, beginning signs of dementia. But when we play the music from their era, you know, 40s and 50s and 60s, it just, they light up, and they can remember like the whole song. And they may not remember their name, but they can remember the song, and they can remember some of the dances, you know. And I just came from a session. That's why I have my you know, 50s gear on. But, you know, you are such a perfect guest and just wonderful. So now I want to segue into some of the present time, if that's cool. So tell us, what is the position that you hold now? What's today? February 2026.
Yes. So I am currently the Director of Business Operations and Communications at Magic Johnson Enterprises.
Oh! Go girl, yay! right. Now, what is that like? Tell us what a day in the life of Stephanetta
Yes.
Bingley, Director of Business Ops and Communications for Magic Johnson Enterprises.
And how did you get it? And how did you get the job?
Yeah,
How did you
let's
get
start
there?
there.
Let's start there. Okay,
Yeah.
so I am a part of an organization called WISE, Women in Sports and Entertainment.
Okay.
And WISE was introduced to me a while back when I was working at the NFL Network. And
I remember that job too.
Yeah, I have. Listen, Laura.
But your resume, oh my God, your resume, it just sparkles. You know, I remember. You know, some people. It's not name dropping either. It just it's fact.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, girl. Tell us the rest. Tell us.
So, from the NFL Network, I had segued to a job at the RAND Corporation, which is totally outside of sports and entertainment. But I wanted to go back to school, and I needed something where I could do both, right? So I was studying to get my MBA from Pepperdine, and also, yeah,
yes, a Pepperdine.
No waves. So I was studying to get my MBA at Pepperdine, and I was working at RAND, and I was still going to WISE events. So I was updating my resume with MBA in progress, and so they had portals, QR codes where you could upload your resume to their portal. So I had done it at a couple of events and thought nothing of it. One day I'm working from home and I get a call from the president of Magic Johnson Enterprises.
The president. Was that Kawana?
At the time it was Christina Francis, because Kawana is the chief operating officer.
Oh, okay.
So, at the time, Christina Francis had called me and told me that she found my resume on the WISE portal and that she was looking for, at the time, a management associate. And that basically was someone that would assist her track all the deliverables for all the contractual obligations, somebody that knew the entertainment and sports space and also had, an advanced degree to help in the business sector. So long story short with that, had an interview with her and at the time VP of Strategic Partnerships and Marketing, Alexia Grevious Henderson, and Mr. J. And we call him Mr. J, Mr. Johnson. And and that's where it all started at MJE, which is the short the abbreviation. That's when it all started at MJE. That was the top of 2023. And so from the management associate role, I was able to move into the communications manager role, which, spoke to my experiences that I had with Zabrina, Rogers and Cowan, and all the things before. And so as a manager of communications, I was basically doing exactly what the title said, managing all of the requests that he received.
Oh my gosh.
There are so many.
Right. And you better get your request in now for 2028 because he's booked in advance,
In advance.
Not 2026 is full, I'm sure.
It is.
And Stephanetta, I just had to interject real quick. You have done so much with your life. I'm so proud of you. I'm actually giving myself chills. I'm so proud of you as a female, as a Black American female, as a female in general, because you broke a lot of stereotypes and you put yourself in a job where it's primarily men. And you did it and you built so much and you're just amazing. You're just so, you just have so much going on. And
Can you guess what sign she is?
Oh my gosh, did you say Taurus like us? I will scream. You a Taurus? Oh, Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio has that energy. Okay, so the Scorpion fire. You have fire, you have determination. No, I'm talking about fire in her energy is what I'm saying for Scorpio. Right. You have so much going on. So, Scorpio. Okay.
Unstoppable. Okay.
Yes.
That is so nice of you to say. Thank you. It's a blessing, and I don't take it for granted. To be in these rooms and these spaces and represent for the brand is something that I covet. It's something that is I hold the brand in such high esteem just from the outside looking in. Before I even got in there, everyone knew Magic Johnson Enterprises, especially in our
course. I mean, almost globally, pretty much.
Yeah, huge icon. He's a worldwide icon.
Right. So it's I'm very humbled to be here. I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm very eager to continue to learn from the ecosystem. Yeah, because there's just the breadth of work and the range is so wide, and we're able to touch on everything from sports to life insurance to energy saving initiatives to HIV research, all the things. And so with that being said, in my current role, a lot of it is still focused in the communications role. So a lot of public relations work where we, go out and do interviews or shoots come to us.
Or be the Grand Marshal of the Rose Parade.
Oh,
I was in the Rose Parade in 1985. I just had to say that. But I mean, the Rose Parade it's a big deal. But I guess
It
I'm
is.
sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, thank you for bringing that up. That's a recent experience that we had that had a lot of moving pieces. We had that morning, and it was pouring raining, and some of the
and it never rains in Southern California. I don't know what's going on.
But it does rain on New Year's Eve, because I remember, like, at the road, like back in the day. Did you ever sleep at the like overnight?
Yeah, spend the night out on Colorado Boulevard.
Exactly. Yes, it's freezing and rains.
So he was what the car he was in. He and Cookie were in. They had the top up, and his hand. They were like the announcer just said, "Oh, Magic, he's conducting the interview and waving at the same time, and all of this, but because I'm sure Cookie didn't want to get her hair wet, so they had the top up. But we got to show that picture. I mean, it's like just the epitome of cool,
Yes, Stephanetta, were you there actually? Were you present there at the time, or you didn't have
boots on the ground? Boots on the ground. I had a poncho on and tried to stay dry. It was Alexia and I, and we were with the Rose Parade staff, but we knew them from when we did the announcement that he would be the Grand Marshal. And so we had developed a rapport and a relationship with the Rose Parade. So we sort of knew who to go to for what. But in that particular opportunity, it was making sure that the logistics were in place. We knew where the interviews were going to be. We knew what he needed to do for the actual parade, and then the responsibility for the Rose Bowl game, getting there for the coin toss. And people just see what the cameras catch, but there's so much to layering out before it all becomes all shiny.
And what time did you have to be there?
Oh my God, our call time. Yeah, our call time was really early. It wasn't as early as 4 because the parade, I believe, started right at 8. And I think we were there. We were up at 4, but we were at the Wrigley Mansion around 6.
Okay.
So we started our day, and I just want to speak to the professionalism. Even though it was 6 a.m., he was up, ready, on it, and so charismatic, and all the interviews were flawless, knocked him all out of the park.
I'm sure. I know. He's a pro at it, and he's a Leo. That Leo energy.
Yeah. And then I wanted to ask one quick question, because Zabrina lived a long time in Pasadena. You were born and raised in Pasadena. My actual father and my stepmom lived in Altadena. Their home is gone now because of the fire. So I'm wondering, how did that affect that event? Was it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, did they have to reroute everything? And I'm sure just having it there brought some more heartfelt emotions for everybody to be now in the city that
since
was
those Eaton fire and some
I think the Rose Bowl team did a great job of making sure that things went smoothly regardless of some of the hurdles that they had to cross. By the time we entered into the view, it was more of a thing of like, we've got to do this because this is going to be a great uplifting event for the community. And we sort of saw it as a way to speak to the culture, like, you know what, we're here, we support you, we're in this fight together. And the theme was the magic of teamwork. And it's like magic and teamwork in the sentence. So it just made all the sense in the world. And as the Grand Marshal, and it was a role that I think was ordained. Like, I think he really, really exuded everything that they wanted a Grand Marshal to be in this year's parade. And Cookie was just she's amazing. Such a trooper. Like you said, we are women who want to make sure our hair is still together. We are women that want to make sure that we look great. Like she, even though it was raining, we had the umbrella. She was in the car. She was waving. She was, active in the message that we were trying to put out into the community. Listen, we're here, we're happy, we're gonna get through this together. And it was a lot of that, a lot of meeting people that wanted to take quick selfies, and they did let the top down when the rain stopped a little bit. On them actually being able to be seen. Long story short, with the fires having happened, so recently, this was a poignant point for us to just participate and lend, I guess, I don't want to say lend a hand, because that's not what it is. It was more like lend some encouragement. And
positivity. And that's what so many people say about Irvin or Mr. Johnson, is that he just makes everybody feel good about themselves. Similar to Mr. Washington, Denzel. It's like, it's that gift to just everyone around you. You feel good.
Uplifted.
Uplifting. Perfect.
It was uplifting. So when we do the edit, just go straight to uplifting. But like lend a hand, that wasn't what I was trying to say. So, but the uplifting spirit, and I think it was just perfect for the moment.
Are you working on something major right now in the works?
We have things in the pipeline all the time. The thing about it is we're very, close to the chest until it's time.
NDA.
So, a lot of it, we don't reveal until the 16th hour when we know we're prepared and ready. But we do have some things coming down the pipeline that I think a lot of people will be excited about.
I hope to see him when the Dodgers win 3 in a row again. I'm sure it's going to be a great season anyway. But
yeah, because she has to tell you. Yeah, my
Huh?
stepdad played with the Dodgers. I have to say that because you brought it up, Sabrina. Tommy Davis with the Los Angeles
Hey
Dodgers.
now, you're an all-star.
Congratulations. That is such an amazing feat. Like, the Dodgers are everything in LA.
They are.
I just want to tell you thank you for, coming on with us today.
Yay!
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate your time, Laura and Zabrina. Thank you so much.
You.
Yes, and we will pick it up again, and that's a wrap.
The rewind.
Assistant director, what would you say? That's a wrap?
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Yeah.